We're gonna be safe and sound tonight.
You will get the consequences of that inevitably. And here's what happens. Now, because we haven't been teaching people how to think, we now can't allow debate. Because we don't teach people how to think, the next Martin Luther King that sees something that we are blind to now, that in retrospect we think, how did we not see that? You look at Martin Luther King, think in retrospect, how was that even a thing? How was that even a thing? But it was at the time. How? I don't know. But it was at the time. And there's things now that we don't see that the next Martin Luther King will be silenced with AI and shoved out of society. So understand that now we've hit a point where because we didn't teach people to critically think, the next Martin Luther King, that next inspirational figure will be destroyed, ostracized, who knows what. And so let the bone-chilling reality that our overlords are basically saying to us that we are at the end of history, that that they get it, that there is no more. Okay? Because and what they will tell us is that because people don't know how to critically think, they can get the wrong idea, or they can be sensitive, and that next MLK is done. Now, why don't we want that? Because we're afraid. We're afraid in a world where people can actually think, it won't be as cohesive. But is that where we're at now? Is this what you call cohesion? Because what I would call this is possible civil war. What I would call this is possible complete pandemonium. What I would call this is a freaking joke. Okay, this is a joke. It's a joke. I mean, why do I even have to be up? I don't want to be up here saying this. I have so many other things that I want to do. Why do I have to have this weighing on my conscience? Because I'm going to post this. No. Loop back around. There's no God. There's no purpose. You are a limited sack of biology. A cosmic joke. You cosmic joke. Look at you. You cosmic joke. Just in these little titties here, just in this little body. You cosmic joke, you. There's no purpose. Don't say hi to that person on the street. Don't care about the mass propaganda and evil watching before your eyes that Big Bubba's putting on you. It's a cosmic joke. Just pick up that shovel. Look at that phone. Eat that crap food. It feels good now. Watch our garbage TV. Watch our garbage movie. Eat our garbage food. Take our garbage everything. Our garbage everything. Why humiliate you? Why degrade you? And you are nothing. You are in spiritual bondage to me. Because with no God, the state is God. And Big Bubba is God. So bend over and take your God right in that hole and like it and thank me now. What are you thinking? We'll be in your head soon enough. Okay? So they just flip back around. Mass demoralization. The country sucks. You suck. Everything sucks. Everything sucks. So just live that life where we can't come together. Don't worry about amazing heroic projects. Our elites, look at the things that we did as a country for years. Beat World War I, beat World War II, won the Cold War. Amazing things that we did. What have we done in the last 30 years? Some things for sure. So critical thinking means that we have to be taught from a young age to look at different perspectives. The first one, like we said, and we just taught it here, a sympathetic perspective. What if you were in charge? There's a crisis. Some little dorky person from California, now's our chance to be so amazing, right? And you're like, no, you know? And then the other one, which is, let's solve it now. The problem is, and this is a really deep topic, but you know, in spiritual growth, I'm going to touch on this. Those who know, those who don't. I'll do other talks on this. A lot of elevated spiritual growth is in what's called release. And a lot of the demonic stuff is in control. And it's sometimes that need to control everything that is so vile. At the same time, you know what else is vile? Apathy and just letting bad things happen, right? I'm doing this speech here because I'm not apathetic, and I don't want to be up here doing this speech. So understand that there's a balance here, but there's things that are going on that you can see the bigger picture when you know how to get a little bit of altitude on it. So I want you to imagine, like I said, somebody who's out there, maybe they have some uncomfortable truth, they wish to share it. What are some things that will happen? Their team probably won't support them because their team is not at that level or paradigm. Likewise, the establishment probably won't support them. So yeah, you can sit there in your basement. You're free to sit there in your basement yelling at the wall. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Low dopamine people need to feel like they get it right away. So they see that person that the establishment is attacking, and they immediately want dopamine, so they jump into the pile, so they get applauded by the collective, and then they get to feel like they get it, which adds dopamine that they lack. Then the establishment can make the most absurd rules ever. Absurd. That people with any critical thinking know is wrong, which then does what? Further demoralization. Because you just see so many lies, and you're like, I guess there's no hope. So you're demoralized. But then what happens is that someone who doesn't care about truth can now go to someone who is contributing and does care about truth and shame them and get dopamine. And you can tell when that's happening because when they're shaming you, they have this kind of screeching, witch-like, deranged-like sound they make, like, yeah, like that. And you can tell in their physiology, they're not used to having a lot of dopamine. You can see it. They're getting dopamine like a drug addict. They're getting it. And so if you're somebody pulling the strings, that's a very, very interesting dynamic, isn't it? Very interesting dynamic. So now imagine that you're somebody who wants to get out the truth. The vendors don't like it. The partners don't like it. Your team doesn't like it. The few people who say they do like it, they'll tell you to take the hill, but they won't have your back. They'll never take the time to truly understand the opposition that you have. They'll call you out for not suiciding yourself, not caring about your family or children, and that's where you're stuck. And here's what you'll see as a conversation in really high levels. You know, we know what's up, but I don't think these people really care. I think they like their mindless entertainment. I think they like their dopamine spikes. I don't even think they want this. And you know, there's a statement in the Kybalion, I could like maybe even break it out. I'll see if maybe I could, Ibrahim, you can see if you could find it, but it was like, you know, talking about like these disillusioned, like these poor idealistic souls who try to share the truth with the masses. And then the masses come and surround them with their pitchforks and go, crucify, crucify, crucify.
These men have never sought popular approval, nor numbers of followers. They are indifferent to these things, for they know how few there are in each generation who are ready for the truth, or who would recognize it if it were presented to them. They reserve the strong meat for men, while others furnish the milk for babes. They reserve their pearls of wisdom for the few elect, who recognize their value and who wear them in their crowns, instead of casting them before the materialistic vulgar swine who would trample them in the mud and mix them with their disgusting mental food. But still these men have never forgotten or overlooked the original teachings of Hermes regarding the passing on of the words of truth to those ready to receive it, which teaching is stated in the Kybalion as follows: Where fall the footsteps of the Master, the ears of those ready for his teaching open wide. And again, when the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lips to fill them with wisdom. But their customary attitude has always been strictly in accordance with the other Hermetic aphorism, also in the Kybalion: The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. There are those who have criticized this attitude of the Hermetists, and who have claimed that they did not manifest the proper spirit in their policy of seclusion and reticence. But a moment's glance back over the pages of history will show the wisdom of the masters, who knew the folly of attempting to teach to the world that which it was neither willing nor ready to receive.
Where, in my view, the opportunity is in the coming century. Recognition of who you are, what this place is, what you're doing here, And what are you beyond? What are you beyond? So we have an opportunity there. And as the situation escalates and escalates and escalates and escalates, it's also a chance to say, you know what? The 80s, the 90s, 2000s, we could have done better. Okay? We could have done better. So this is a chance for rebirth. Like Christ on the cross, this is our chance for rebirth. Because things may get a little crazy. They might, right? They might get a little crazy. So, okay? So this right here, this is your chance. And collectively, this is our chance. And things like this that are beautiful will be suppressed. That's okay. That's okay. Because freedom is like, it's like at the end of the movie, The Never-Ending Story, and all of that imagination's been blown apart by the darkness. And the queen, the princess, whatever, she's got that one little light. And she says, that's it. That's it. But as long as that one last little bit of light is left, if you're even the last, this could be recorded for the last person on earth who still believes in freedom. But if there's one last person left who believes in freedom, then that light still lives on. And America, the spirit of America, may leave this land. But as long as that spirit is still alive, America still lives. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.